That's really so crazy going from this kind of studio setup to that. Good morning, guys. It's been crazy yesterday. You might remember yesterday's vlog ended with me saying that's it for today. It's like already really late and I will probably continue working on these songs for the next 2-3 hours. But that's actually absolutely not what happened. Chocolate bunny, really good. Friend called me, asked me to get a couple of drinks with him. I of course said yes, because I also wanted, of course hang out with him, but I was also so pumped about these new tracks and I wanted to share them with him. That I went out with him, showed him the tracks, he loved them. We had a lot of drinks and talked about good old times. And that's definitely the perfect combination for another hangover story time. So today's main topic is my studio evolution from my very first home setup to what I got today. First up, just to know who we're talking about, me back 2003. That's the first selfie I ever took, by the way. It was with my Sony Ericsson, I forgot what it was called, but it had a display with colors and a camera, which was like, wow. But the second picture I already took was my setup that I had back then. It was a G5 and like the screen and both, it's still in my studio. As you can see in that picture, I didn't even have speakers. So 2003, I wasn't producing yet. Wow, that's a rare one. Frozen Cocktail Night, DJ Sine. It wasn't always Jon Sine. Back then it was DJ Sine. And was playing hip-hop. That's like the very first ever kind of promotional material my name showed up on. One of my very first gigs, DJing with vinyl, of course, with actual Denon players. Back then, Denon was ahead, 100%. Okay, where are the studio pictures? Oh, the first one of Vanessa in my entire iMovie, iPhoto library from 2010. I don't really have any studio pictures of like the really old studio. Let's check. Finally, some old school studio pictures. I think that was the day I got my speaker stands. 5th November 2010. I already had like a home studio setup running. I unfortunately don't have any pictures like from the time in between. But in the time between, it was basically my G5 computer and crappy speakers, like PC loudspeakers. Horrible stuff, like small, way too bass heavy with a subwoofer. But yeah, back then, 2010, I had already my Duet sound card, my biodynamic headphones, the Yamaha speakers, and I just recently switched to a laptop to be able to produce mobile. That's also a rare one. Eric Prydz live. I was there, first row, just like, I don't know, 150 people attended him DJing. Okay, that one is also an interesting one. In my old studio, and I started like doing a live setup with Ableton, an iPad, Akai APC thing, like pushing buttons, setting up loops. It was fun. I might go back to that one day. But it's so much work, like at least 2-3 weeks just to prepare for one gig. I also just played that one gig and was really disappointed that no one appreciated me playing live. It was like a normal DJ gig, so yeah, just not worth it. And that's the day I moved to Berlin, 24th of August 2012. I packed up my entire studio, moved to Berlin with Vanessa for like half a year. And this right here was then actually my setup in Berlin for that half year. This right here was my setup in Berlin for half a year in the living room. All very small and producing music in the living room with your girlfriend together. It's not like the best idea in the world. And then back again actually in my old studio again, which is my previous studio that you all know. But my setup was like in the room flipped, not towards the window. I had the window in the back and all covered, so it was really, really, really dark, which was good for the room acoustic, but I just didn't enjoy really being in there for too many hours. So I ended up producing a lot on headphones and my laptop actually. So as you can see, for a very, very long time, my setup actually didn't really change. Speakers, MIDI keyboard, laptop, that was pretty much it for the longest part. My studio, massive rebuild. Like, that was like annoying as fuck. Yeah, and then the studio built like those IKEA bookshelf absorbers, the back wall, then filling everything, covering it with fabric, measuring, doing the entire ceiling, the cables, covering everything up again, and at the end it looked pretty much like that. That was really sick. I was so proud of myself. This entire transformation costed me like 4,000 euros, which isn't much if you think about it, to almost get a perfectly acoustic treated room. And from that point on, 15th of May 2015, it was so much easier producing music, so much faster. I just loved that studio. And it was pretty much really close to the setup that I then had for, yeah, up until like half a year ago. And then, yes, the historic day, the last day in my old studio, which led directly to the new studio. That entire building, tearing down walls, making holes. That is actually the hole for the vocal booth. The cables for the vocal booth, the hole in the wall for the vocal booth. I mean, that's like just half a year ago, but it's insane how much work we put into this. Back wall in the B studio, front wall in the B studio, front wall in the A studio. Oh god, the kitchen. The day the big speakers arrived. A studio back wall, B studio finished back wall. Vocal booth finished, B studio finished the day the DJ setup showed up, and the A studio as it looks right now. Still the huge desk missing, but that's just like one tiny piece in this entire huge project. So yeah, that's like the evolution of my studios from the very start to now. The last half year was like crazy fast, big, a lot of equipment. If you're interested in that, it's of course all captured on here. The last 3 years, the old studio, the making of the old studio, the building of the new studio. Just go check it out. There's like a daily episode about this entire process. I hope you enjoyed today's hangover story time. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next as a story, any questions you have about my past, and we'll see us tomorrow back again in that beautiful new studio.